So today is an exciting day. Today sees the return of the Big V and the return of State of Origin football. Well, it's kind of State of Origin football. State of Origin football is about state versus state. This is Victoria versus the rest. So what I thought I'd do is I thought I would have a look at how State of Origin ended and why it ended and the reasons that were given for it ending. So the last time we saw the Big V in action was in 2008. They played against an all-star team at the MCG, and it attracted a crowd of 69,294. So it wasn't State of Origin, but it was Victoria versus the rest. Now, interestingly, in this match, all the big players played. Nobody pulled out. No players didn't want to play. No clubs stopped players from playing. One of the reasons given for AFL State of Origin not being played is that the clubs wouldn't allow the players to play and that the players wouldn't want to play. So before that, it had been a long time. It was 1999. That was the last ever AFL State of Origin match. Now, this game only attracted a crowd of 26,000 people, but it was an extremely wet day. Let's have a look at it anyway.
Melbourne, it's been a miserable morning, a lot of rain, it's not too hot, I can tell you. We should have a terrific contest. It was 100 years ago that these two teams, states, played one another at the Melbourne Cricket Ground, and 20 years ago that they first played State of Origin football. Hello and welcome to a damp Melbourne Cricket Ground. There won't be a big crowd, it should be a great contest. The last contest in the 20...
Yeah, as you can see, this is a picture of the MCG on that day. Now, as you can see, there wasn't a lot of undercover seating at the MCG in 1999. So when it rained, it used to affect the crowds quite badly. The other issue was that in 1999, most people bought their tickets on the day from the gate. So obviously, if you buy your ticket and then it rains on the day, you're still going to go. Whereas if it's pouring down with rain, as it was on this day in 1999, you're less likely to attend. So there were reasons. The crowd was only 26,000, but there were reasons for the small crowd. Now that was the last time Victoria played South Australia at the MCG. The time before that was in 1995. All right, let's have a look.
1995, the coldest Melbourne day for 2 years. But at the Melbourne Cricket Ground, there was a warmth that enveloped the 64,000 who braved the harsh conditions. They came to pay homage to this.
So it was the wettest day in Melbourne in 2 years. Now, despite the terrible conditions, this match still attracted 64,186 people. Now, that is an amazingly big crowd when you consider that probably 70, maybe 75 of the MCG, there was no cover from the rain. Again, people didn't used to pre-book in those days. Most people bought on the day. So, a crowd of 64,000 on a wet day, they probably would have sold it out if it had been a perfect fine day. So the last two times that Victoria played South Australia at the MCG, they were both very wet days. One of the crowds was 64,000 people. All right, let's have a look at the last two times South Australia played Victoria at Football Park in Adelaide. Now, the first one we're going to look at happened in 1997. Now, this one was a big crowd. This one got 40,000 people, 595. This was, all the big players played in this match. No one pulled out. No clubs stopped their players from playing. 40,595. So I'd call that a success. Now, the game before that, South Australia played Victoria. Let's have a look. This was on a weeknight.
Hello and welcome to Football Park. A magnificent atmosphere here tonight. And the South Australian team, it sounds like, are about to come out. The pre-match entertainment was spectacular, as you just saw, celebrating Football Park's 20th anniversary, and the Crow Eaters have come out onto the ground. Almost a full house here. We think 44 to 45,000 people in, and this is the one and only State of Origin match for 1995.
Yeah, there you go. 44,598 attended this match, and this is one of the best matches you'll ever see. you get a chance, have a look at it. It's on YouTube in full. Absolute classic match, and a big crowd. Football Park only held 45,000 and 44,598 on a weeknight as well. So, all right, let's have a look at the last time WA played Victoria in WA. Now, as you can see here, it was a wet night. They didn't have much luck with State of Origin in the 90s. They got a lot of wet days, but this match was sold out. So that was a success, as most of these matches were. We're now going to have a look at the last two times that Tasmania played against Victoria in Tasmania. Now, in 1991, they played Victoria and it was sold out. And the year before that, this was one of the greatest moments in the history of Tasmanian football. Tasmania played Victoria and they bet the Victorians. Both crowds were sold out. 18,000 people. Over 18,000 people attended both of these matches. Now, when you think about the size of Tasmania and the percentage of the population that attended these matches were extremely popular. So you've got to ask the question, why don't we play it anymore? Because I think we've just illustrated that these matches were very successful despite, some unfortunate weather. So the first reason they give is that the clubs won't allow their players to play. Is this true, though? Let's have a look at it. The Indigenous All-Stars have played several games against West Coast, Richmond again, Adelaide, Essendon, the Western Bulldogs, Carlton, Collingwood. In none of these games did any club stop players from playing in the match. All the top Indigenous players played, and the clubs let their players play, and they decided to play the game. So then we had AFL X, and all the stars were there. Dangerfield, Jack Rewald, Fife, Eddie Betts. All the best players chose to play in this match, and more importantly, none of the clubs stopped anybody from playing in this match. Then we had international rules. Again, as you can see here, this is the last time they played. Dangerfield was there, Rory Sloane was there, all the big stars are there. So where does this idea come from that the clubs would stop players from playing in State of Origin? That is the big question. Where does this idea come from? This has become one of the greatest myths in the AFL. So yeah. Tell me what you think. Leave a note in the comments, and that's all for now.